Hi there, brick builders. Today we got another thing. It's a mock. It's a mock from someone who is called PeetersKevin on Reobrix, so I guess his real name is Kevin Peters. And Kevin Peters brought us a windmill, a rather fine one. Fine enough that Reobrix decided to get in touch with him and get the license for this model, and subsequently Letbricks were the ones who showed me this model that they sell themselves now. And they were kind enough to send this version over, so we have a piece of a gift from Letbricks here that we have the joy to experience. So we're talking about the Reobrix 66014 from the European century, the Windmills Town. Even if it's just windmill, it has 2,269 pieces and is for people starting with the age of 14. So Reobrix says, I rather doubt that. No, it's more like a piece for adults. There are certain techniques used here that don't really apply to 14-year-olds. But first things first, let's have a look at the instructions. On the front we got a picture of the mill. I don't know if it's really a picture. It looks more like a computer build here with all the informations in there, the 14 plus the 2,296 pieces and the Windmills Town and European century, and yes. On the sides we get a lot of text. On the one side we get another pictures of this whole thing here, and on the back we get the mill again with some special shots of the special parts the mocker really wants to stress here. This is the flower stuff, the special flower stuff that is used here a lot, and this is a lot of things that are really special, like the windmill wheel there. That's it for this box. With that, let's have a look at the instructions. The instructions have suffered a bit from the journey, but they're working well still. The first thing we're gonna see are the stickers here. I don't know if they're really that necessary. They're mainly there to do some texturing of certain bricks to put on, like brick texturing there, and put wood texturing on the stuff. This is nothing that is too important, I guess. But let's go to the real instructions here. They have a substantial advantage over most of the other sets I ever built, but that's for later. These instructions also have a certain disadvantage, which is the colors here. The colors don't look like bricks. The colors do look alike a lot, and it's hard to determine which color is meant in most places, with brown, with red, with all the other stuff, even with black. You have really problems to decipher them, especially since the colors are not the same ones as the bricks in the first place. In the end, we have 239 steps on 101 pages to conclude in a parts list. And to recap the coloring issue, there's also another one which I never have seen in another instruction set here, which means that the frame lines in the instructions and the color with the instruction is filled with, or the pieces are filled with, are that similar that you really can't make out on the first glance in which orientation what piece is in there, what is meant there, and that's a bit tricky sometimes. Taking all this critique aside, there's also one thing that they made really well here, which is there is chapters, which is normal, which is sections, which is quite normal here, and there is a big bag for each and every of that, and in these bags are smaller bags. which is also not really something new. But these are numbered, and these are really numbered so that in general you just have to open one of those bags and find the pieces you will need for the next 3 or 4 steps to build, which is rather good for anybody who got a small table and is a bit of a advancement in instructing building technology. But all this about the building aside, let's look at the set itself. There are the stickers, I put them in. There is a lot of pieces in there, and there is a lot of small pieces in there. And of course there is a lot of building techniques there that scream, I'm a mock. And with that, all the children building abilities of this set more or less fly out of the window. I don't see any 14-year-old having the patience and all what's needed to build this set, at least alone. To the functions, there's not much to say. You can move the wheel of the windmill, this is expected really, and you may be able to lift the roof of the little house. You won't find too much of an interior there. I don't think it's really meant that way, so it's more for putting it in your shelf and call it a day. And then there is the special part of this set that is especially heavy, which is the tree. This one is... I don't think the pieces themselves are okay. I guess more than okay. I guess it's Reobrix or something like that. So this has nothing to do with not holding together pieces in there. This is just with the building techniques. That is the one-star techniques that, is making it not easier to build stuff. And especially this tree is something you might want to have a special eye on. Especially with the instructions, there is the idea in the instructions that you build the tree out of the building there, or the place where you have to put it in the end, and then put it in as a whole tree. I wouldn't recommend that. I would really say build the basic structure without the leaves in the end and put them on place when you are done, or when it is position it correctly inside the set. Also the wheel self, put it together early. What I mean is that if you put it together or put on the flaps and all that stuff in the end like it's shown in the instructions, you will not be really able to avoid pushing in the rod where this wheel is centered with, and to get it out again you have to disassemble the whole roof, which is a pain. So do that first and then put the roof around it. Here we got the leftover pieces. It's not really special stuff here. All the stuff in there is small, so all the leftover pieces are also small. The only exception is one of those capes which build up the windmill wings. So let's open the set. This is rather easy. You have just to cut a bit of sellotape and then you can open the box without damaging anything, without ripping or something stupid like other manufacturers need you to do. This is opening relatively easy. The first thing you get out of it are two inside boxes called A and B, and you can really rely on this. In A there are the first sections, and then in B there is the rest. And then it's like I said, inside those section bags there are smaller bags which are also numbered, and you take them one by one just to fill in some steps, maybe 3 or 4, and then you take the next bag and go ahead. This is done rather well. There might be a handful of pieces that have been landed in the wrong bag, or maybe it's also a coloring problem, so that I built with the wrong color and then found it later or something like that. But it's generally working and it's generally rather relaxing, for example for me who has a smaller table to build, so this is good. As I said, what's not that good is the quality of the instructions in terms of colors and in terms of the outline of the pieces to decipher which piece is meant and how it should be built with this piece or how it should be turned and this kind of stuff, which is, especially for the tree, a bit of a pain. All the other stuff is working well in the building phase that we are in now. There is a look of it like it has been a bit warped, which I guess is due to the fact that I built the set in the lower lines or lower heights on the instruction book, which might have warped a bit, but since then this set is standing here and the warping is gone, so no warped pieces. The quality of the pieces and the color quality is excellent. There is no problem there, and the only problems they are coming with the instructions on the one hand and the building techniques on the other. I don't mind Mocker's building techniques, but they have to work, and with some of them I'm not really keen there. For example, the roof of the tower for the mill is done with C-clamps that are put into wheels, wagon wheels, and if you do that wrong, the C-clamp is no longer functioning. So yeah, I lost a lot of, not a lot, but some of them by just putting them in a wrong angle in. So be aware of that, or buy a lot of C-clamps for yourself as spares. And also the building sequence is not really ideal in a lot of points. For example, you build the tower, the round tower, more or less in sections that are built up, maybe 5 bricks high, and then there is something to connect the stuff again. But you're not building one block after the other, one 5 bricks tall block after the other, but you build here and there, and a bit like a diamond block set row by row. And this is a bit weird because you have to search every time where this next piece is gonna go, and in a 16 or whatever round block construction there are rather similar pieces there, parts there, and this could have been easier if you just put in 5 pieces one over the other and then the next segment, and that would it. So if you're willing and have the patience to build this set, and if you like stuff of this age, it is really for you, but really be aware that you have to be patient and that this is not built like some of the other manufacturers, that you just build it in for 2,000 pieces, that you plan an evening or something like that. Plan a week, which is more realistic in the end. So this is not for the faint-hearted. This is something you really have to dig into, and the result is really rewarding in the end. So once you've got through all those stuffs, all those instruction pieces, all those trees in this case, you really got something that is really nice. So if you like that, use it, which means put it on a shelf, put it in a city, put it in a diorama or something like that. This is not really to be played with. For pieces, I guess this is Reobrix, I'm not sure, but it feels like that, so you can buy that. There's no color problems either. So if you like that, just go ahead, buy that. With that, first, another thank you to Letbricks for giving this channel this set and this experience. And then, if you liked what you've seen, please press the like button. If you didn't like it, please comment me that. And if you really want to be awesome, just smash the subscribe button. With that, have fun building, have fun watching, and see you.